Normally, I'd like to get all prettied up for a video, but today, we're getting greased up. So everyone is told, or should be told, that you need to get your oil changed every 3 months or every 3,000 miles. That's right? But does anyone ever tell you you need to check your oil? I need to check myself before I wreck myself because I'm only spewing these facts because of my dad. Thanks to my dad, my beautiful orange car has been running since 2004. So I'm gonna show you how to check your oil, because in between oil changes that you get, your car is still gonna be using all of that oil. So sometimes if you're taking a longer trip and your car uses up a bunch of oil, you are going to need more oil to make your car run smoothly, even if you haven't hit the 3 months or the 3,000 miles. So it's important to make sure that your car can maintain those lubricated parts, you know? So let's pop up that hood. But even though the hood is popped, I'm pretty sure all vehicles have some sort of locking mechanism on there so that your hood just can't randomly fly up if you forget to close it properly. But that has happened before. Had a friend that took his car to the dealership to get serviced, and after he left, they didn't close the hood properly, and he was driving on the highway. It went, broke his whole windshield. Poor guy had to take it right back to the dealer. Aww. It's got this little lever in here that I'm gonna pull, and then I lift it up. Well, I guess then I'll demonstrate how to properly close your hood. So after you take out the little thingy that holds it up, my dad taught me, you hold it right about here, then do a little lift up and drop it, and then check to make sure that it cannot be lifted again, because we don't want cracked windshields. Here, hood is popped. Now let's show you how to check your oil. Pro dad tip number 1. Sorry if I'm squinting, the sun is trying to give my eyes cancer. When you're gonna be checking your oil, make sure that your car has been sitting for a while so that all the oil that was running through your car can let it kind of just like settle down so you can get an accurate level of how much oil you have.
This is your dipstick. They'll all look a little different, but you can find it, I promise. I apologize for the blurriness, you'll see why in a second, but take out your dipstick, wipe it all off with paper towel, and then place it back in where it came from, just so you can get an accurate reading of how much oil. So then you're going to take it out and look at the level. So mine has 4 little spaces on it, and there's 3 out of the 4 that are filled. So I do have enough oil in it, but I could add a little bit. Usually you want to fill it when you're at about 2, and you never want to get like below that last level. That's the minimum. That's bad. So I wipe it off. Sometimes I'll double check it again. I don't know why. For good measure, I suppose. Then place your dipstick back in and you're good to go.
Pro dad tip number 2. One thing that you can do is you can check your oil every single time, or maybe at least twice a month. Whenever you go to fill up your car with gas, you're already there waiting for the gas tank to fill up, so it's a nice quick time to be able to check your oil. I understand that that kind of contradicts the first dad tip, but you're going to be getting kind of a rough range, so if you're getting low, you know when you need to get home, you can let your car sit and then get a better testing and then fill it back up again.
This next step is for if you need to add oil to your car. First, grab your funnel. I'll put a link in the description of the funnel that I'm using. I think it's really handy. This is your engine. You're going to want to take the cap off so we can put the oil in. So you can place your funnel inside and then take your oil and pour just a little bit at a time depending on how much you need. I only poured in a small amount because I have an oil change scheduled for next week, so I don't need that much fresh oil inside. Then you can lift up the funnel, shake it off, and wipe off the excess oil. Replace your oil filler cap, and then I like to do a second wipe down of my oil funnel just to really make sure I got all the oil off. And for extra measure, I actually like to kind of twist up my paper towel that I used into like a paper towel hot dog. And then I actually put it down and kind of start pulling it through the bottom of that funnel so it can absorb any excess oil that's still in the middle. So when you're storing it, you don't have to worry about oil leaking anywhere.
And let's talk about what kind of oil, but really quick because it's hot as buckets out here. This is the oil I get. You want to get a high grade oil so that your car can be high grade. You know, you can't eat potato chips all the time and expect to be running like a new car, you know. So if you look in your owner's manual, it'll tell you exactly what kind you need. Mine is say 5W30. Wow, the sun is so bright. So there are 3 different types of oils, I believe.
Actually, there are 4 types of oils, and just for fun, I'm gonna compare them to coffee. So the first kind of oil is a full synthetic motor oil, which is really good. We're gonna call that like really strong Colombian black coffee that just is great to the point and gives you all the energy that you'll need. It's just wonderful. And then there's a synthetic blend motor oil. And let's say that's some coffee mixed with some creamer. Maybe you don't have to use as much of the coffee and you put in a little creamer or milk in there, which adds the benefits of the strong coffee, but it's a little bit cheaper because you're not using as much of it. And then there's conventional motor oil, which is just like cheap McDonald's coffee, not great coffee. And then there's high mileage motor oil, which is for older cars that have over 75,000 miles on them. And I had a tough time thinking up with a coffee example for that, but I was just gonna compare it to decaf. Like, I know my grandma wouldn't mind drinking decaf coffee because that caffeine gets her hyped up and she can't calm down.
Cut it out.
Your owner's manual will pretty much tell you basically everything that you need for your car, and there's lots of resources online that can help you. After you've put oil, make sure that you got the cap back on, that your dipstick's in where it's supposed to be. You got no paper towel or the oil from the cap or any other foreign objects in here that could mess up your car. You're gonna lift up the hood, take out the, I don't know, what is this called? Someone tell me. Whatever this is called, I just call it the stick. And you pop that down in place. Pull this down, lift up, drop, make sure it's locked. You're all good to go.
I forgot to do my signature thing. Have a great day. Bye.